Yeah, look, I think Part started the game really well. I thought the first 20, 25 minutes we were struggling to deal with their movement. We were struggling to deal with their balls in behind, their diagonals from the two centre backs. I thought the two centre backs passing range was exploiting us, and sort of the idea was not to allow them that much time and space. So we were just trying to encourage our players to be a little bit braver and a bit more courageous and to put a little bit of pressure higher. But for some reason, we did not, which just gave them the control of the game. Um, and yeah, we were just a little bit all over the place, and they deserved to get the lead. Obviously, also a good strike from outside the box. Um, and then I thought the sort of next 20 minutes or so of the first half settled where they weren't as dominant, and we sort of slowly clawed our way back into the game. And I just thought then the game had settled a little bit. Um, and I just then realized and thought, if we could get into halftime just 1-0 down, and we can sort of assess, we can just regroup, re strategize, which we did. I thought second half we came out, and the first 15 to 20 minutes was our moment to get back in the game and to get an equaliser. I thought we applied a lot of pressure on them, um, and we started making them defend. We started getting them to turn. We started forcing set pieces in and around the final third. We were probing, and I think Kaká shot, which was straight at Shane, the save, and then when he went down, he bought sort of 4 or 5 minutes of time. I think Pirates then also themselves regrouped a little bit. We obviously tried to just be positive and make some changes up front, and just try and sort of have the energy to just maybe get something back from the game. And I think eventually, when we went sort of to only a midfield two with just an extra attacker, we sort of lost a bit of control that we had sort of gained. So we lost a bit of that momentum. But it does help when you're leading and you're able to bring on a player like Mbule, which just slowed the game down, took the sting out of the game, allowed them just to get a bit more of the ball again. So the last sort of 10 minutes was just a little bit of a struggle, just hoping maybe to create an opportunity, a counter attack opportunity, maybe just try and apply that pressure. So I thought it was a game with different moments. They started really well, deserved to get the lead. The game settled. We came out second half. We were on top of them. That's where we probably missed out on getting something from the game. And then I think the last 10 minutes, they sort of just controlled the tempo of the game and took the sting out the game. So, yeah, that's pretty much the way I saw the game go.
Two or 3 points and you sort of chasing. Is that a concern?
Um, Thank you for the question. I wouldn't say it's a concern. I think it's more just mindful of that situation that can possibly happen. I would be more concerned if, like, we were looking not like we're competitive in matches. I think obviously the first game against Chiefs, the red card let us down. We showed a good response. We showed that we're capable. Playing away to Machesi is never easy. And obviously, away to Pirates is never an easy fixture. So, as you say, it hasn't been an easy start. Gallon's up on Tuesday, and then Sundown. So, I think we've got enough sort of character and sort of resilience in our squad that we will get our opportunity where we get ourselves on a good run. So, I'm confident that there'll be a stage within from the next game onwards up until game 10 where we'll get some momentum, and hopefully some of the other teams have to start playing each other, and hopefully we can get an opportunity where we can get some good form, get on a back-to-back winning game or get on an unbeaten run. So I wouldn't say it's a concern at this stage, but we are mindful that that could happen, and it's just then being ready for in case we get a little bit after 4 or 5 games, we're not where we want to be. But as I said, I think with the new players having come in, getting into a final, I think will just be good for the mood for the club. So that's a massive game for us coming Saturday. And then I think a good FIFA break in September will allow us just to regroup and reassess where we are, and push on.
Yeah, sounds, Coach, you We've had a lot of movement between these clubs over the years. Does it make it more difficult when you come into a game against a team like Orlando Pirates that has not only players who played for you, but also Ruan, who was very important for you?
Yeah, look, Ruan is a quality conditioning coach, sports scientist. You know, he's of a high level. I've always said that. In my opinion, he could work at a club in Europe and not be out of place at all. So, obviously, it's good for people when they do move on and get other opportunities. And I'm sure Ruan will eventually reach his dreams of going even further. So, when I look at a game like today, I look at it and I see Sishle Nduli. He's all of a sudden become a crucial player for Pirates. He hasn't missed a minute, I don't think. Hopefully, he'll be okay for Saturday. And then we have a player that we brought in like Mtaleli Mtiani. Mtaleli, I think you can see already, Sishle having over 100 caps for us before he left. So the same type of situation, Mtiani will grow into a real quality South African footballer at the highest level in the PSL. So it does sometimes when you look at it and you think, oh, that's why Sishle was so important to us. The amount of sort of attacks he broke down, the energy that he gives, the experience that he gives them. But it's just part of the process, and it's something that we just need to be positive, keep focused, and know that it won't be long before players that have come in will be making their mark and showing why we brought them.
Yes, Coach Bella here. I have luck on the result. Um, I know that you've always been leading in this space in terms of giving the young players the chance. Um, um, and I think it was unfortunate that he got an early red card. It's going quali against Chiefs, and we've seen how PD as numbers have started also this season. How important is this? Because this is a tradition that you've continued with. Um, Before also they go for the Under 20 World Cup. I know that they're not just doing it for Amachita, but also for yourselves as Stellenbosh United. And I see other clubs now following suit in terms of giving these boys a chance. Is this more about being intentional, but rather than just doing it for the sake of doing it?
No, I would never do it for the sake of doing it. I think all the players that have got the opportunities have deserved the opportunities. I think Sibiwe has shown the quality player that he is. He has some PSL experience already, and obviously the under 20 AFCON. And Major's been with us for a while. So sometimes I've said it in the past when young players like, Jaden Adams at the stage, Devon Titus were young. Sometimes it's a little bit of a short term risk, but it's massive long term reward. So we're probably going to go through a little bit of this stage and growing pains over the next sort of 3, 4 weeks. But I do feel that by sort of middle to late September, come October, would have really settled in. So it's not just giving them time for the sake of it. It's they deserve to be playing, and obviously KZ, he's played a lot of minutes, had a sort of a tight hamstring, so he's key for us. He's played really well, so we played Siviwe at right back today, and I thought, he hasn't played there for a while. He's a better centre back, I do believe, but he done a good job for us, and it was good for him to get minutes as well.
Chairman, you may ask a question. Yes, Chairman.
There you go. Away. Temba Shabala, Joseph from Sports. Coach, I'd like on the result. Just to pick your brain on the business model of your club. I mean, the CEO says you are not a buying club, you are more of a selling club. Um, how much of that brings you hard work looking at the season from season? You don't buy new players, but you groom new players. You come here, you've got 3 or 4 of your players playing here. You go to Sundowns, I mean, you've got players there, you've got players everywhere that you've groomed, and you still expected to win things. How much of that is a setback to you, knowing that you start every season from the development side?
Yeah, I've had to deal with this question quite often. I think it's important for people to understand that if there's big clubs in the English Premier League, whether it be Liverpool, Man City, but Real Madrid come knocking on your door, it's not always easy to keep players. Certain players reach a stage of their career where you know it's the right time for them to move on. There's other times, I would have loved to have kept a player like Oluwatu Makanya for another season. He's having a fantastic season in the MLS, and I think hopefully the coach Hugo Bruce is keeping an eye on him. A guy like Tylen Smith leaving before he even kicked the ball for Stellenbosh. It's good to see that we can provide those opportunities, and we are sort of helping South African football at large. And I think we've always been a club that if we believe a player needs to move on and is able to enhance and improve his earning capacity as well as improve his career, then we're not easily going to stand in his way. So a lot of the time, people only see the players that leave, and they don't see the players that we've been able to keep that other clubs have been wanting. This season already, I can name a number of players that we did not sell because we felt they were important for us for the season. So football being a game of sometimes economics, and that there are certain situations where you understand why players do move on and you're happy for them. Sometimes, as a coach, a little bit of the irritating part can be when a player is sort of coming into his peak and reaching his peak, and you don't have the opportunity to keep him at that level, at that peak, and he moves on. So, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother the club. I think we understand what we're doing. We do it well, and it's shown that we can still achieve success the way that we have been doing it, and we're adding value to South African football. I do trust and I do believe. So yeah, it's a model that's based basically just on when a player is ready to leave and move on, then we won't easily stand his way, but we also just won't be rolled over and sell every single player that other clubs want.
We'll take the final two questions. Peter.
Steve, did you have those 4 changes pre-planned, because Tigers came off for a bit of a break with the game in mind on Saturday?
It was a little bit pre-planned. Obviously, Devin is a key player for us. Has played a lot of minutes. So Andre also, we didn't want to sort of overplay him and start the game. So there was a little bit of intentionality about it. Obviously, if the scoreline had been a little bit different, or the game a little bit different, maybe it could have been 1 or 2 others that we would have rotated given the opportunity. So yes, there was some intent behind it.
Any takers on the final question?
Coach, maybe just something unrelated but still related to football. The striker who scored tonight is on 129 goals, and I think the next time he scores, he'll be an all-time leading goal scorer. And you've played against Shalule for a number of times with different clubs as well, different levels. I think you competed against him at the end of the day as well, at some stage. What can you say about this striker?
Yes, to be, don't have to answer.
I'm sorry. There's a MTN 8 press conference tomorrow at the PSL at 1 o'clock. You can ask that question there.
But this is not MTN. It's not an MTN question. It's a league question.
Yeah.
He's not in the league tonight.
Yeah.
I'll answer briefly. Happy for him.
Oh, Coach, I'm sorry.
Even at
Coach.
Highlands Park, he showed these qualities and his abilities. So, he's had a good career in South African football.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you,
I
Coach.
answered some of